Hi friends! So it is currently the time where people are posting their favourite books of 2020. You know, I thought I could do that, but how about I do that but make it spicy? Instead of talking about my favourite books of 2020, which to be honest I spent the whole year talking about, because when I do wrap-ups or I do hauls and I talk about books, like you already know the books I loved last year. I asked you guys on Instagram what your favourite books of 2020 were. And I'm going to judge them. So I have a hot chocolate, I have all of your answers on Instagram, and I'm going to go through your favourite books of the year and talk about that. Okay. I won't have read all of these, I might not like all of these, I might love all of these. Let's see. I haven't looked at your answers yet, so this is literally me live reacting to your answers. So the first one we have Cemetery Boys, which... absolutely yes. Cemetery Boys is a book by Aidan Thomas. It is absolutely wonderful. It was one of my favourite books of 2020 as well. I read it when I was in recovery from one of my surgeries and it was absolutely amazing. Like, I loved every single aspect of Cemetery Boys. It gave me the right amount of I love this but also I'm so stressed about this, and there were just the right amount of twists and turns that kept you kind of guessing, and I really didn't know how it was going to end, which I think was really good because of the type of book that it is. So Cemetery Boys, we love Cemetery Boys, absolutely amazing. Aidan Thomas's debut, phenomenal, cannot recommend it enough, 5 out of 5 stars from me. Then we have Wicked As You Wish, which I have never heard of. So let's see what Wicked As You Wish is about. Wicked As You Wish is perfect for readers looking for young adult magic, mythology and folklore, LGBTQ+ representation. Alex and Tala must unite with a ragtag group of new friends to journey back to Avalon for a showdown that will change the world as they know it. Okay, that sounds really cool. Oh my god, is it the same author that's written... Oh, okay, it's by Rin Chipeka, who has done like The Bone Witch and... Okay. Is this video just me putting things in my Waterstones basket and spending money? So maybe this is a bad idea. It's not available on Waterstones. We will find somewhere where I can order Wicked As You Wish. So, bon appetit. Okay, then we have Loveless. Loveless came up a couple of times. Loads of people said about Loveless. This is a Alice Osman book. I know this is an unpopular thing. I have never read an Alice Osman book. I had Solitaire a long time ago. And I never properly got round to it. There are newer books. I heard a couple of things about Loveless. Like, I knew loads of people really loved it, but I did hear a couple of things with some people who like didn't. And I really don't know where to start with Alice Osman books. Like, I kind of think I might start with the Heartstopper series, but I've never delved into the Alice Osman books and world. But I'd really love to know, like, you guys know what my tastes are, which ones you think I would like where should I start, because I never really know. But I'm so glad that so many people found comfort in her books, because I've seen so many people and I had so many messages. I had about 10 people tell me Loveless was their favourite book of the year, like one of their favourite books of the year. And I'm just so glad that there's something that can bring that much comfort to people. So definitely maybe one of my 2020 things can be to read an Alice Osman book and to finally get on board, because everybody always talks about Alice Osman and I've just never done it. So maybe this will be the year. Then we have Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare, which is the third and final book in the Infernal Devices series. None of you put Chain of Gold, and I'm really disappointed. I just feel like I'm not doing my job well enough if I have not convinced you guys to read Chain of Gold this year, or to get to the point where you can read Chain of Gold, and then also the fact that it's not one of your... Chain of Gold is like one of my favourite Shadowhunter books. Like, I'm disappointed that it wasn't on this list, okay? Like, I'm a little bit disappointed in you all, alright? Like, read Chain of Gold, it's phenomenal, but I'm glad Clockwork Princess is on there, because Clockwork Princess is also phenomenal. I think my favourite Shadowhunter books are the ones set in the late 1800s, early 1900s, except obviously the ones with Magnus and Anakin, because... Then we have Take a Hint, Danny Brown. I haven't read Take a Hint, Danny Brown yet. I have heard phenomenal things about Take a Hint, Danny Brown. I read Get a Life, Chloe Brown, because of the Brown Sisters trilogy. So I read Get a Life, Chloe Brown, because Chloe has fibromyalgia, and that is one of the things that I have. Like, that was one of the most realistic portrayals of having a chronic illness and the way it impacts your life that I have ever read. She even talks about things which no one ever mentions, like how her body struggles to maintain homeostasis, and which mine also, it struggles to maintain homeostasis. Absolutely phenomenal. So Take a Hint, Danny Brown, like, if it's anything like Chloe Brown, like, I think I will love it. I have it on my Kindle, so I will definitely get round to Danny Brown, and I'm so glad that people are saying that it's one of their favourites, because that, like, gives me good hope. Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I am glad that some people loved Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I had a couple of people tell me that it was one of their favourite books of the year. I have issues with Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I did a reading vlog. You can watch my reading vlog. It is not coherent. It is not my final thoughts. I'm still properly trying to process my final thoughts on Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. For those that don't know, it is a Hunger Games prequel. It focuses on Coriolanus Snow, or President Snow, before he was president, when he was an 18-year-old boy. And I feel like she didn't make me feel bad for Snow. She didn't ever make me feel like, oh, I feel bad for him, because she constantly did remind us that he is a bad human being. Like, she was never like, he is good, because he's not. He's a shit person. I just didn't like kind of the portrayal of, like, District 12, and that it was sort of the way that just the kind of the attitudes to things, like, there was just something underlying in Ballad that just didn't sit right with me, and just, I don't know, it was very brutal. The actual Hunger Games was brutal. This was, like, twice as brutal, and there was just something to it that just didn't properly sit right with me. Wasn't one of my favourites of the year, definitely not. I have donated my copy of Ballad. But I'm really glad that some people did like it, because I really wanted to love it. I really wanted to come out of it and love it, because The Hunger Games is one of my favourite series, and remains to this day to be one of my favourite series. It was disappointing for me that I didn't like it, but I'm glad to see that it did live up to that for some people, and some people did enjoy. Oh, we have You. Is this You as in, like, the one that's based on the TV show You? If so, I really want to read that. Like, I haven't read that. I've only seen the first season of the TV show, but I have You on my Kindle. I really need to get around to it, but especially now, because I'm really into kind of that kind of book at the moment. So I do really want to get around to You and actually read it and see how the book differs. I have heard that the sequel isn't great, like, in book form, but I am planning on getting around to You at some point. I'm glad that people are saying it's, like, one of their favourites, because I have heard, like, phenomenal things about the first one, and I loved the show as well. It's rare that I will watch something before reading the book, but yes. My friend Sarah has said The Burning God and Dark Dawn. Also, she didn't say Chain of Gold. So, Sarah, what playing at? I have not read The Burning God or Dark Dawn yet. The Burning God is one of my, like, upcoming books that I will be reading. I got it for Christmas. It is on my shelf. It is up there. You cannot see it, but it is up there, I promise. Burning God is the final book in the Poppy War trilogy, which is a phenomenal trilogy. I have a video where you can say why you should read the Poppy War, which I will link down below. And the Burning God is the final book, and I have friends that finished it, like Sarah, who have said that it's phenomenal. And I have friends that are currently reading it who are very stressed, so can't wait. Then we have Boyfriend Material. It's the London cover book. Let me see. This book like attacks me on Audible all the time, because it's like, you will like this book, and it's just always there. It's by Alexis Wanted, one, parentheses, fake boyfriend, practically perfect in every way. Luke O'Donnell is tangentially, oh my god, that's a word, and reluctantly famous. His rockstar parents split when he was young, and the father he's never met spent the next 20 years cruising in and out of rehab. Now that his dad's making a comeback, Luke's back in the public eye, and one compromising photo is enough to ruin everything. clean up his image, Luke has to find a nice normal relationship, and Oliver Blackwood is as nice and normal as they come. He's a barrister, an ethical vegetarian, and he's never inspired a moment of scandal in his life. In other words, perfect boyfriend material. Unfortunately, apart from being gay, single, and really in need for a big event, Luke and Oliver have nothing in common, so they strike a deal to be publicity-friendly fake boyfriends until the dust has settled. But it's gonna be that they actually fall in love, which is my favourite well, one of my favourite tropes. It's probably not my all-time favourite trope, but fake lovers, like fake relationship to actual relationship is like god tier trope. I'm here for this. I'm gonna add this to my list. Like I said, it attacks me on Audible all the time. Is the audiobook, has anyone listened to the audiobook of Boyfriend Material? Shall I get it? Shall I order it with my next Audible credit in January? Let me know. Then we have The Court of Miracles by Kester Grant. So The Court of Miracles was a book that in theory sounded really good. Les Mis meets Six of Crows. Definitely right up my street. I read a tiny bit of it and it didn't click with me, and I also have loads of friends who finished the book and just said they didn't like it at all. So that is really interesting to me that it was like someone's favourite book of the year, because that's like the first time I've heard someone say they really enjoyed it. So it's making me wonder if like maybe I should give it more of a go. Maybe it just didn't sit right with me at the time. I'd love to know if anybody else really liked The Court of Miracles, because I haven't like heard many people say that they really liked The Court of Miracles, so I would love to know, because it's a really interesting book for me, because it just didn't, like from what I'd read and what I've heard, like it just didn't live up to what I thought it was gonna be. I'd love to know like people's thoughts on The Court of Miracles. And then finally we have The Bridge Kingdom by Danielle Jensen. Okay, I haven't heard of this one. What if you fell in love with one person you'd sworn to destroy? Lara has only one thought for her husband on their wedding day: I will bring your kingdom to his knees. A princess trained from childhood to be a lethal spy, Lara knows that the Bridge Kingdom represents both legendary evil and legendary promise. That sounds pretty cool, actually. We love that. Are they gonna actually fall in love? Like, I don't want them to actually fall in love. I want her to like destroy him. Like, I'm so here for books where like there's like a princess slash like spy and she just like destroys men. Like, I'm just here for that. So that was just some of you guys' favourite books of 2020. I had a lot of the same. I had a lot of Loveless. I had a lot of Ballard, Heartstopper as well, Alice Osman, like I said about. So I had a lot of the same, and it's really interesting to see because, like I said, there's books that I wouldn't have heard of. Cemetery Boys was also one that came up quite a lot, but there were books in there that I didn't hear of, and books that like weren't necessarily for me, but it's nice to see that other people loved them, and that like that just goes to show, I think, when it comes to reading, that like you can read something and be like no, and then someone else can read it and like it really resonate with them. And I think that that's really cool. Like, it's really cool to see that and to see like how we read and how varied that can be. So that's what kind of why I wanted to do this, to just kind of have a little insight into what you guys read in 2020. I'd love to know you guys' like favourite books as well. Like, if you didn't send me a message on Instagram, leave in the comments and let me know what books of 2020 yours were, and also let me know your most anticipated book for 2021. I'd love to know. Mine is Chain of Iron by Cassandra Clare and One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. So there we go. If you guys are new here, I make videos a couple of times a week about books and fandom things, so if you want to stick around and join us, feel free to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. And as usual, all the links to my other social medias where I do things like this, so if you want to get involved next time, you can follow me on there. They're in the description. And also the link to my Stranger Things podcast is in the description as well, because I have a Stranger Things podcast, and in 2021 we're turning like the whole channel into, as well as being the podcast YouTube channel, because we have a YouTube channel for the podcast, we'll also do other videos that are all Stranger Things-y. So go and check that out if you want to. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you're doing really well, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.